almost 10,000 horsepower under the control of the talented and chosen few. Welcome to Thunder Racing at the Rock. Round number 3 coming up, but it's been an intriguing championship so far. Let's take a look back at round number 2.
With 2 rounds complete, we've got joint championship leaders Stevie Hodgson and John Mickle locked on 395, with Michael Burgess in 3rd place for Westec. Lead rookie is Adam Jackson in 7th.
Well, after 2 rounds of the championship, I've got one of the joint championship leaders with me, John Mickle. How you feeling about it?
All the confidence back with the team, the pit stops are good, the package is good, and if the package is good, we'll be good, and just got to keep out of trouble.
I'm here to win races. I drive, and I'm employed by Talkspeed to drive their car for Xerox. One of my competitors happens to be my teammate and my team owner. So I'm here to do my job, and some of the moves that we pulled in traffic in the first race were race-winning moves, and that's my job.
Round 3, your first qualifying pole. Out, warm your tires up, bang, you put a good one in.
Yeah, unfortunately, I ended up having more problems. We had a power steering failure, so we were late going out in qualifying. I went out in qualifying. As soon as I went out, it started to rain. I thought, here we go, we're going to be, doing the back of the grid stuff again. And I just went out there and did the business.
Went out for the first part of qualifying, ran no tyres and started to rain, so we come in, had a break, I think it was 10 minutes, went out, finally found a safe spot to do my lap basically, and it all went wrong. There till like 1 o'clock last night getting it repaired, so hopefully it'll be okay.
The stands are filling up for the start of the racing action. I've got Mark Klausner with me, race director of the series. Now Mark, let's talk a little bit about spotters, these kind of angels in the sky as you like to call them.
Yeah, well, the spotter is a very, very important part of this program. As a driver, when you're out on the track, your vision actually within the car is very limited. And so as you're driving along, you can really only see what's directly in front of you. The spotter is there to tell you there's somebody coming, there's somebody inside, to try to keep you out of trouble.
SCSA is about stock cars, but it's also about pickup trucks, and boy do we love them. Here's Paul Mazzell with all the news from round number 3.
As a feeder series for the SCSA stock cars, pickup truck racing provides some fantastic action for the fans, and the 3rd round was no exception. Championship leader Paul Poulter in the yellow 74 wasted no time in getting himself to the front of the pack, coming from 14th on the grid to take 2nd place by the end of lap 5. Martin Heath brought out the yellows when he had an incident in turn 3, and the restart gave Poulter the chance to snatch the lead from number 9 Pete Wilkinson on lap 13. The yellows were brought out again due to a coming together between Frank Francis and Nick Grindrod on turn 4. But on the 2nd restart, Poulter was given a run for his money as Pete Wilkinson and Simon Carr put the pressure on. Further down the field, pickup truck's only lady racer Kelly Jane Wells in 21 was showing promise as she made her way to 3rd place. The ferocious battle continued across the finish line, but it was Paul Poulter who managed to take the win and defend his unbeaten record. Kelly Jane Wells proved to be a popular choice amongst the crowd after she held on to her 3rd place and set a new lap record for the trucks.
I can't believe it.
And from the entertaining trucks to an entertainment of different sorts, Rob's downstairs. He's with our guest artist today, Tony Christie.
Tony, great to have you here. What's it feel like to be here on track?
It feels great. It's very noisy.
Yeah.
It's the first meet I've been to with cars. I've been to quite a few motorbike ones. It's great. It's a great atmosphere.
And now Tony Christie is going to utter the famous words for us. So, ladies and gentlemen, Tony Christie with those immortal words.
Gentlemen, please start the car.
Well, the Amarillo man, Tony Christie, has a very unique way of getting these motors started, so thank you to him for that. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the track that they'll tackle today. It's Rockingham as ever, 1.5 miles, 4 very different corners, and who will take the victory? Well, Michael Verges might be the first to stake a claim. He set the fastest lap in qualifying, so he's on pole position. But these are the onboard views we'll bring you. Colin White will line up on the second row. Further back behind him, Stevie Hodgson just taking a quick drink, getting plenty of liquid on board. And there, talking of onboards, that's the view from young Ollie Plales, number 88, the Chicago pneumatic car. So let's take you through the whole field. Verges and Steward. John Steward qualifying on the outside front row, then Colin White and the joint championship leaders John Mickle and Stevie Hodgson line up 4th and 5th. Ollie Plale is 6th. Behind them, Ian McKellar Jr. and Hunter Abbott, the two Talkspeed teammates. And then behind them, 2 and 4, Sean Richardson and Adam Jackson, the leading rookie in the standings at the moment, with Phil Weaver and Mike Lupp behind them. And then comes Gavin Seeger, Duncan Gray, and the Kent Pharmaceuticals car of Tony King, the Shark, at the back of the grid after an engine problem. He blew an engine in qualifying yesterday, or rather practice. So here we go, about to go green for this 60-lap race around the Rockingham mile-and-a-half oval. We are green, green, green. The round 3 of the championship gets underway. It's a great start from Mike Verges. Beside Colin White on the inside is John Steward. Steward is going to be hung out to dry here as they head down to turn 2. Mickle surfing back and forth behind John Steward, trying to find a run through. Great start from Stevie Hodgson. He's come through to take an excellent 3rd position, but we're watching the battle for 4th. Mickle didn't get a great start there, actually. He's dropped back. Our wall cam sees them flashing by at 175 miles an hour. Great scrap here as they're almost 3 wide as John Steward and Sean Richardson close up on the back bumper of the number 26 Ryanair car of Hunter Abbott. They'll complete another lap. John Steward really holding off the challenge from Sean Richardson. And if you wonder why they can go side by side like this at these kind of speeds, 1, there is a lot of trust. 2, there's a lot of respect, particularly between these two drivers. And thirdly, there are 2 grooves here at Rockingham, and you can run about the same lap times, whether you're in the top groove or the bottom groove, but there's not many people in this country who can run as these two are side by side, battling it out for 8th and 9th, incidentally. And down on the left-hand side, the lead trio complete another lap, and Stevie Hodgson will look to go down the inside of Colin White and will take that position away. So Stevie Hodgson, joint championship leader. There he is ahead of us now as we look from Colin White's onboard camera, diving down into turn 2. And you hear Colin there just balancing the throttle as he goes through behind the Xerox 24. And John Mickle now starting to close in onto the back bumper of the CWS machine as they flash through turns 2 and 3 again. John Mickle right on the back bumper, and we've got trouble in turn 1. Tony King and Duncan Gray with an almighty coming together at turn 1. Goodness me, that is a huge impact. And Rob Murphy's down in pit road. He's with Stuart Davey, the crew chief of the 17.
Any word from Tony on the radio?
Yeah, he's fine, other than the fact that he felt the vibration before he got.
You guys had to change a motor, didn't you? Because you had a motor blow, so you've been working real hard on that race car. And
yeah, it's a bit disappointing having changed the engine. So we just need to have a look when it comes back.
Well, huge disappointment for the 17 crew. Stuart Davey must be devastated. They worked so hard. Let's just see, we catch the end of it here. Tony King is already spinning, and it sounded as though his wheels locked up, the rear end locked up, and that would be conducive with an engine failure. Duncan Gray, just a passenger, had absolutely nowhere to go. And while that's been going on, our rookie leader in the championship standings, Adam Jackson, is in the garage. As you can see, his crew working with him. They've got some sort of an intermittent engine problem. So, goodness me, all happening here in the early stages. We're about to get set for racing again, though. Great clear-up work by the marshals, and Michael Verges in the NEC Aspire car will lead us away as we restart here at Rockingham. 60 laps in this race, remember. Stevie Hodgson second, the joint championship leader, along with John Mickle, who is down in 4th place at the moment, and Colin White, the meat in that particular Talkspeed sandwich. Great restart by Mike Verges. Stevie Hodgson in the Xerox Chevy there, lined up behind him. And that's what all that horsepower sounds like. Now, Tony King has made it back to his pits, and Rob is down there with him.
Tell us about what happened.
Race start was good. Got past loads of cars, car felt good. A couple of laps in, as I went into turn 1, I got a puff of smoke. And so I said to Moya, I'm just going to back off a little bit and fill the car out. Felt absolutely fine through 2, 3 and 4. So I went for it again, down into 1, loud bang, massive vibration, passenger.
Now the Moya that Tony refers to there is his spotter, Tony's spotter. Moya is up in the stands. Well, she's on her way back now as John Mickle finally makes his way past Colin White. That will be useful for John. I think a wave there of acknowledgement to Colin, who moved over, knew that John's RS Cap Ford was quicker. The DSI Next Docs machine, 66, making its way then up to third place. That's important to John Mickle from a championship point as well. He's big picture racing here this weekend. Look at Ian McKellar Jr. too in that black number 25. He is also stalking Colin White. Oh, and there's some debris just came off one of the cars there, flashing up onto the wall. Meanwhile, Hunter Abbott moves ahead of Ollie Playle. That's him up into 6th position. Just wondering why Ollie Playle might be dropping back there. Anyway, Rob has more news after that Duncan Gray incident. He's somewhere on the circuit.
Paul, I'm down here at the medical center. Good news is that Duncan Gray is okay. They're going to keep him under observation for about another hour, but that is good news for everyone.
That is great news, Rob. We wish Duncan a speedy recovery. Meanwhile, we're on lap 29 here, so the pit window is now open. John Steward hits the wall very, very hard in turn 4. That is a huge impact for the 75 car. Look at that wheel off the side of John's car rolling down the track. The spotters will be called out. We've got yellow flags, so that will now close the pit lane, which might make things quite interesting because normally they... Pit. Well, now that's the team radio saying pit, but regulations say under yellow the pit lane is closed. So, and we've got cars down pit road, including race leader Michael Vergers in the NEC Aspire car, the blue car there, 28, and the Xerox Chevy of Stevie Hodgson, joint championship leader Stevie Hodgson. So they may have already been committed to their pit stop. Well, Mike Crane, Mark Burton and Bernard Mulvihill will be there to receive Michael Vergers. Meanwhile, Stevie Hodgson stopped too. And Rob, there's confusion up and down pit road here with this yellow flag. Whereabouts are you at the moment?
Down here, just by the crew, the number 66 car, and of course they're waiting for their machine to come in, and we can see Stevie Hodgson going back out. Michael Vergers gets out back in the lead, and we can see that Junes goes out in the 25 machine. But where's John Mickle?
I can tell you, Rob, he's only one of 2 teams who stayed out, along with John Mickle. Colin White and the 78 crew have stayed out. They are obviously interpreting the rules, and now Colin White comes in. Well, confusion all around here. This might take a little bit of sorting out, I think. What do you reckon, Rob?
Well, we've had a lot of yellow flags, clearly different strategies. We'll sort it out all for you when we come back from the break. Welcome back to Thunder Racing at the Rock. A lot of stuff going on before we went to break. Let's go back up to Paul, who's going to clear it all up for us.
Well, I'm going to try anyway, Rob. At the moment, we've got talk speed surrounding Sonny Howard. With the glasses there on the left is Asa Burrows. They're talking to Sonny Howard about the regulations. So let's try and see if we can work through it. It all started when John Steward here had this big spin. Look at the impact there on John Steward's car, losing a front left wheel and loads of bodywork too. Now that happened on lap 29, which deployed the yellows. That means that the pit lane is closed. However, all but 2 of the field came down pit lane and changed their 2 tyres. The only 2 who didn't, you can see them at the back there, the turquoise car, the CWS machine of Colin White, and behind him, talk speed's John Mickle. Now here, this is Mickle's team looking at the rule book. Now look to the right-hand side here as we ride with Stevie Hodgson. Green light on the right there on the wall changes to yellow. And here ahead of us, see the yellow light flashing there? We highlight that for you. And because of that, the officials are now reshuffling the pack. They want everybody behind Colin White and John Mickle, who in the officials' view, they made the right call by not coming in while the pit lane was closed under yellow. And there's the Westec team, Michael Vergers' team, in fact, talking to the officials. Now, Rob's downstairs.
Alan, you guys reckon you timed your pit stop correctly?
I think according to the rule book we have, because the yellows were actually out on that lap. So according to our rules, we shouldn't be pitting.
Well, Alan Mickle and his team called it absolutely right, as did Colin White. We are back now green. I can tell you the Westec team, perhaps understandably from their point of view, very unhappy about that. Michael Vergers came out leading after that pit stop, but is now, as you can see in the NEC Aspire car, back there in 3rd place, with Stevie Hodgson, Ian McKellar Jr. and then Ollie Playle and Hunter Abbott rounding out the top 7. Sean Richardson is back there in the darkness car in 8th spot. But my, oh my, I can tell you there is still commotion in the pit lane. People walking up and down with rule books and all sorts of things. Meanwhile, John Mickle's just got his head down while he will try and tackle Colin White. Stevie Hodgson has a sneaky little peek there from 4th place to see if he can find some room on the low side beneath Michael Vergers. Well, there'll be some steamy collars at the moment, I can tell you. I think it's just a complete freak of timing. I think that's what it's all about. Meanwhile, on the top right there, John Mickle will go for the lead. Down on the bottom left, Hunter Abbott trying to take a place from Ollie Playle. So still commotion in the pit lane. Rob's down there talking to people, and now he's with the crew chief of the 78 car.
A couple of minutes ago you weren't very happy, but now you're happy because you're running in second spot officially.
Yeah, we thought that pit lane was closed due to yellows coming out.
Right.
And we stayed out as the rules stated.
And so you did the right thing.
That's correct.
Well done, Cliff. Good luck, man.
Well, Cliff and the 78 crew are happy. Michael Burgess is looking to try and snatch away that second place from them, though. And meanwhile, Rob's got more controversy about a black flag.
I've got Poodle, the crew chief, with me. Can you tell us what your take is on that, Poodle?
Well, the officials have told us that we jumped the wall too early. They asked me to sign a declaration form to say that I did it. I never signed the declaration form. I don't agree with what they're saying. We saw the car stop, both wheel change and myself. We didn't jump before the car had stopped. They're arguing it. Well, they haven't even given a fair argument on our side, so.
All right, thanks, Poodle. Well, there you go. Action out on the racetrack. A lot of action down here in pit road.
Yeah, and I think being distracted by that black flag, which means he must go to pit road. Ian McKellar Jr. there, we saw the black flag being displayed just a moment there. Let's take a look at this from Stevie Hodgson's onboard. Look at the crewman in the green shirt there on the left as we freeze it. Here's Ian McKellar Jr. The rules say that the crewman can't leave the pit wall until the car is stopped. And he clearly saw there Gary Twigg rear tyre changer for McKellar Jr. already moving before that car had stopped. So that's the reason for the black flag. Now here is Hunter Abbott in the 26 Ryanair car, absolutely motoring at the moment. He's already up to third place in only his third ever race here at Rockingham. That is a superb performance by the rookie. Remember, rookies are people who have not raced in the championship before. Meanwhile, Ian McKellar Jr. comes into pit road to take his punishment. In fact, he's already done that. He's on his way out of pit road to rejoin the race, having had his backs of his legs well and truly tapped. Great stuff going on, though. Ollie Plale seems to have recovered well. Oh, Stevie Hodgson and Colin White double wide. All of which is allowing John Mickle, who still leads this race, to get away a little bit. Oh, and good banter between these two. Stevie holds the inside line. Colin White will go double wide with anybody. He absolutely loves it, you know. Tremendous stuff from him. And Stevie Hodgson completes the move as they cross the stripe one more time. So race order again, as I remind you. John Mickle out front, Michael Burgess in second place, and in third there, Hunter Abbott. Meanwhile to pit road and Rob.
How's John doing?
He's fine, yeah, he's just a bit disappointed, like we all are. We dropped back at the start, we was hoping to get back near the front, but just cut a right rear tyre and turned it around.
Well, that's good news that it wasn't driver error, just a failure there on the tyre. But meantime, Ollie Plale and trying to have a look there down the inside of Sean Richardson. Nothing going there. A mature drive this from young Ollie Plale. He had a disastrous start in the opening 2 rounds. He really wants to try and claim as many points as he can. Good, sensible stuff from those two. Sean Richardson knows that Ollie has got the quicker car, although now Richardson, with Ollie Plale trying the crossover move, Richardson fights back and takes the position back at turn 2. Great stuff from these two. It's the Darkness versus the Chicago Pneumatic car, and at the moment, the Darkness creeping away. They're tucked in there behind Colin White. Getting into the closing stages now, John Mickle with a reasonably healthy advantage over Michael Burgess, although Burgess closing in on him ever so slowly. This is a fascinating scrap between these two. Battling it away for 6th position they are, and again it changes. Ollie Plale goes through. Now this is the Westech team watching the live pictures down to pit road between Ollie Plale and Sean Richardson. John Mickle, though, completes another lap into the final stages. There is Michael Burgess. That's the distance between them. I'm not sure if there's enough time here for Michael Burgess to take the victory away. And if Mickle can take this win, that will put him outright leader in the championships. Ollie Plale will try and take 5th in the final corners. Not to be, though, or is it?
Outside, sorry, Ollie, well done, outside.
Dean McIntosh there, the spotter for Ollie Plale, making the call. And Ollie Plale will complete the move, will he? Oh, look at that. Scrambling for grip. He's through. So Ollie Plale, great last-minute few laps this from Ollie. He's looked after those tyres, and he's through into that 5th place. But Mickle sees the white flag, which means he has 1.5 miles to go of the Rockingham Oval. Got some traffic to perhaps negotiate. There is the gap between himself and Michael Burgess, and it's his teammate, Ian McKellar Jr., who... Well, I suppose if you're going to see anyone in front of you as a back marker, then that's the guy you want to see, your teammate, because he might just give you a little bit more room than others. Martin Petty logging the laps for Talk Speed That's the Jackman, Roger Scotland for Mickle, saying, come on, Dave. All that team are known as Dave. It gets very confusing, but here comes John Mickle to take his second consecutive victory in the 2005 SCSA Championship, and the Talkspeed 66 crew very happy with that. Burgess takes second, and Hunter Abbott will take third place.
Hey man, good team effort.
Yeah, well, I was talking to my brother there. He was a bit mad in the pit stops. He kept his cool, and the DS-I-4 just came home in the end.
Confirmation then of the result of round 3 of the SCSA Racing Series. John Mickle takes the victory ahead of Burgess and Abbott. Stevie Hodgson is 4th, with Ollie Playle in a fine 5th place ahead of Colin White, Sean Richardson and Mike Luck.
Let's put your hands together for John Mickle, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's see if we can grab a word. Hey man, tell us a little bit about what was going on in your mind when you had all the yellows and all the incidents out there, because it's hard to keep your focus, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm glad the officials done the right thing. We have a specification for the season saying you're not allowed to pit, do your mandatory pit stop on a yellow flag. And the yellow flag come out in turn 2, and I was waiting for a decision, and by the book it says you can't pit under a yellow, so that's why me and Colin stayed out.
Well, of course, Michael Burgess and the rest of the field, other than John and Colin, did pit. And interesting to hear what Michael's got to say about that.
Well, you know, they declared the pit lane open, and as most people see, everybody pulled in on the open pit lane, and then they obviously faffed around for a few laps and declared it different.
Oh, clearly not a happy man, but at the other end of the excitement spectrum, what about Hunter Abbott taking a brilliant 3rd place in his 3rd race?
I'm just ecstatic, over the moon. It's awesome. It was nice coming back through from 8th through to 3rd in the end. It was fantastic. I loved it. Brilliant.
Well, as a result of this yellow, we've got teams down here at loggerheads, Talkspeed and Westec, with very different views. We got the full view from Race Series Director Mark Klausner.
We have a rule in SCSA that when it goes yellow, pit road is closed. Just prior to the yellow, we announced pit road open. And unfortunately, the 75 car had lost it in turn 4, and the cars were coming through 2 and 3 at speed and made their commitment. So half the field came in, most of the field came in, and a couple of the cars stayed out. So technically, there was kind of a rule problem there. But what we ended up doing is sorting out the rules, setting it up correctly, realigning the field, and it turned out good. But again, it's tough to make decisions at 175.
It is indeed, Mark. Well, John Mickle now leads the standings in his own right by 15 points, ahead of teammate Stevie Hodgson. Michael Burgess in 3rd place. The leading rookie is now Hunter Abbott in 7th.
Well, there you have it. Talkspeed's John Mickle takes another win so far this year. That's 2 out of 3. Join us next week for round number 4.
We're on 2 wheels next here on 4 for round 6 of the British Superbike Championship.